Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Rov?
Hello, Louis. How are you?
I'm fine,
Ivanovic.
thank you. Huh?
Hello.
Hello,
Dr.
hello.
Liz, how's it? How are you,
Hi,
Dr.
Rob,
Liz?
how are you? Hi, how are you? Shavua
Hashem.
Tov. Shavua
Shavua
Tov.
Tov Umvorach. Who else with us? Who else with us? Gabriel. Shavua Tov, Gabriel. How are you? Who else there with us? Oh, I see Iva. Iva, how's it? How are you? Hello, Mr. Anthony. Hello, Mr. Bennett, Gordon Bennett. Let's see who else with us. Sean with us. Hello, Sean. Hello, Adrian. I'm just waiting for everyone else to join. I see these few others connecting. But in the meantime, what are we going to do? I'm just going to explain what we're going to speak tonight. Tonight, we're going to speak about the 10 martyrs. I'm sure that all of you heard about the 10 martyrs. Yeah. And today, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to try to explain who was the 10 martyrs, what was the punishment, and how they've been punished to death. And then I'm going to bring all different Gemarot, but I'm going to bring mainly one midrash that speak about, there's many midrashim, but I'm going to bring midrash Ele Eskera that speaks especially about the 10 martyrs. And we have to understand what's hiding behind that punishment of the 10 martyrs. And we'll see from there. So first of all, hello, Mark. Hello, Janet. Nice to see you with us. We didn't start the show, so you're on time. Who else with us? Hello, Brian. How are you? Norman, how are you? It's good to see you.
Thank you. How are you?
Yom, 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 yom. So what we're going to speak tonight is the 10 martyrs. I'm going to mute everyone, and then we'll start the shi'ur Be'ezrat Hashem. So I would like to dedicate the shi'ur number 1, Le'ilui Nishmat, in a neshama of Daniela Beila Bat. Come on, help me. Ivan? Daniela Beila Bat? I think that he forgot about me.
Yaakov Ruvain.
Yaakov Ruvain. That's what I wanted to know. Yaakov Ruvain, לעילוי נשמת דניאלה בת יעקב ראובן, ואולסו לעילוי נשמת אסתר קדן בת קציה, מרדכי בן רחמה, ואסתר בת משה הלוי, נשמתם תהיה צרורה בצור החיים, ולרפואת מנשה נג'י בן פרחה, לרפואת לירון בן יהודית, ולרפואת שמואל בן מיכל. I mentioned that. Okay, so בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. So the subject of the shi'ur, the 10 martyrs. But I'm going to start from the book of Shmot, and let's see what the Holy Torah tells us. The Holy Torah tells us in Sefer Shmot, in Parashat Mishpatim, in chapter 21, verse 16, Gonev ish umecharo, ונמצא בידו מות יומת. What does it mean? The Torah tells us, our Holy Torah tells us, that if a person kidnaps someone and he sold him, and he been found that he done that negative command, his punishment is death. What does it mean? That the Torah, we have a prohibition from the Torah for human trafficking. We're not allowed to kidnap human people, and to sell them. That means human trafficking. Wait, what does that have to do with the 10 martyrs? So that's the question that we first have to answer. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to bring the midrash of Ele Eskera. And there is other midrashim that speak about the death of the 10 martyrs. For example, Midrash Tehillim, Midrash Echa Rabbah, Midrash Shir Hashirim, and there is many other midrashim that bring the story of the death of the 10 martyrs. But today I decide to bring the Midrash El Eskera, and I'm not going to go through the Midrash because it can take over 2-3 hours to read everything. So I summarize it for us to understand. The 10 martyrs, the story of the 10 martyrs was after the destruction of the Second Temple. It wasn't all in one period. We'll see now, we'll explain, and you'll see by the different ages that it was spread in a long time. What happened? After the destruction of the Second Temple, the Jewish nation didn't mourn for the destruction. That means they never cried to Hashem. They never felt any problem that they don't have Bet HaMikdash. Because Hazal say that what was behind it, they rely on the sages. They rely on the great sages that we have, like Rabbi Akiva, like Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, and etc. That means that they say, you know what? Now that we don't have Bet HaMikdash, it's not the end of the world. We have great sages. We can rely on them. If we're in Soros, we're going to go to them. They're going to pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they can do atonement to all our sin. Nachon, that usually Bet HaMikdash used to do it, but we have the great sages, and they can do it. And Hazal say, as the Jewish people didn't mourn, immediately HaKadosh Baruch Hu put in the head of the Roman Caesar that he decided to learn our Holy Torah. Okay. The Roman Caesar started studying our Holy Torah, and he's studying it, and it was very interesting until he reached to that verse that we mentioned in Sefer Shmot, in Parashat Mishpatim, and there he read that one of the negative commands that the Jewish people have is a human trafficking. And if those people been fined, the punishment is death. He closed the books, and he been ordered his advisor to call 10 great sages from the Jewish nation. And they brought them in front of him, and he put them, he let all 10 of them sitting on a golden chair, and he said to him like this. He said, tell me something. What is your religion say about human trafficking? So they all answer, look, our Torah say when a person kidnapped and he been found guilty that he dealt with human trafficking, the punishment is one, death. He said, that's good. Yes, I read it. He said, in that case, I'm gonna decide that all of you are mortals. They say, why? What did we done wrong? We didn't kidnap anyone. We didn't dealt with human trafficking. He said, no. You're not. But your forefathers are. He said, what are you referring to? He said, I will refresh your memory. And he said to them like this. He said that Shimon, Levy, Yehuda, and all the other tribes sold Yosef HaTzadik to a slave, to the Ishmaelite, until he reached to Egypt, and then he been sold as a slave. They looked at him, and they realized that the Caesar doesn't speak nonsense, because if it was a normal human being, he said, I'm going to take a revenge. Listen to Gurnisht. But when the Caesar speak, they meant something. They said to him, you know what? Give us 3 days, and let's see where we're going from here. He said, no problem. I'll give you 3 days. The sages sat together, the 10 sages, and they discuss it, and they decide that Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol, he's the highest level because he's the Kohen Gadol. He should go up to heaven. That means he will lift up his soul, and he can go to heaven, and he will ask, is that decree that there is on those 10 sages, is it decree, a proper decree from Shamayim, that's mean, and Shamayim to decide that they deserve to be punished, or it's just kind of a plot that the Caesar trying to find an excuse to kill the sages of the Jewish people. So Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol prepared himself, and he prepared his holiness, and he prepared his purity, and he done Aliyat Neshama, that he left up his soul up to heaven. And in heaven, he asked in Shamayim that, tell me, is that punishment that the Roman Caesar that planning to do for the Jewish people, that's mean planning to kill us, is that a decree that been happen in heaven, or it's just a plot? In Shamayim, they told them, no, it's a decision that come from heaven that the Caesar have to kill you. They say, in that case, look, we're not happy, but if that's the case, and we've been chosen, we are willing to die on the sake of heaven. And Hazal in the Gemarot in Masechet Baba Batra, in page 11, folio 1, in Masechet Sota, page 48, folio 2, Masechet Brachot 61, folio 2, Avodah Zarah 8, folio 2, and page 17, folio 2, and Masechet Sanhedrin in page 14, folio 2, there Hazal speak about the cruelty, the kind of death that the Roman killed our sages. Now, here is the time just to explain that who was the Caesar. The Caesar was Andrianos Caesar, and he been commanded to kill by Tornosrophos Arasha. That means Tornosrophos Arasha sent Andrianos Caesar to do the killing, and he done most of the killing. Who was those 10 martyrs? So Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, he was the Nasi. Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol, he was the Kohen Gadol, one of the great sages that we ever have, and one of the most beautiful men that ever lived in this world. Rabbi Akiva was the third one. Rabbi Hananiah ben Teradion, Rabbi Hananiah ben Teradion, Rabbi Hutzpit HaMeturgeman, okay, that was number 5. Rabbi Elazar ben Shamoa was number 6. Rabbi Hanina ben Hachinai, number, what did we say here? He's number 7. Rabbi Yeshovav HaSofer, Rabbi Yehuda ben Dama, Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba. Those are the same sages. Now, I have to explain that before I continue. In the Midrashim, there is a different mahloket. Who was the 10 sages? That means, who was the 10 martyrs? Some of them say that, because if you look, there is 10 martyrs. That means that the way that they killed them couple. For example, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel and Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol. That was the first couple. The second one was Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Hananiah ben Teradion. But, according to different midrashim, there is a different opinion who was exactly the 10. But I brought the opinion, that most common opinion, that it was in Midrash Ele Eskera, and most of the midrashim agree with that. Okay. Now, we have to understand that they not all been killed on the same time spread. Some of them been killed much later, some of them earlier. There is no that all of them been killed one after each other, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now, I would like, and I'm telling you, I really summarize. I really took a lot because I don't want you not to sleep tonight. So what I've done, I actually took most of the horrific part that how they killed and how they done it. So I will explain how they kill him, but I took a lot of horrific things that I don't want you to hear tonight, because otherwise you're not going to sleep tonight. And Hazal tell us about the kind of punishment and kind of death and the cruelty of the Roman people. So the first one we say it was Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, basically it was an argument between him and Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol, who's going to die first. Amongst them, they argue. And the Caesar was so impatient, he said, if you're not going to decide, I'm going to decide. And he took Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel and he chopped his head. That's how Hazal explained. The next one was Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol. Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol, we explained that he was a beautiful looking man. When he been sentenced to death, the daughter of the Caesar saw that. And immediately she ran. She ran to her father and she said to him, listen, can I ask one wish? She said, you can ask whatever wish, but don't ask me not to kill those people. Because I took an oath and I have to kill all of those 10 sages. She said to him, look, this man is a beautiful man. I love to look at his face. He said to her, no matter what, I took an oath, I have to kill him. She said, okay, you know what? In that case, skin his face. That means skin all the face. And basically what you're going to do with that, I want you not to destroy his face. I want you to put it as a taxidermy. And that's what they done. That's how they killed Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol. The next one was Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was in the age of 120 when they killed him. They didn't have mercy. What did they done? They make a steel brush and they brushed his skin, his flesh over him until he killed him. And Hazal said that he was saying Shema Israel when he died. The fourth one was Rabbi Hananiah ben Teradion. Rabbi Hananiah ben Teradion, Hazal tell us that what they done to him, they took a Sefer Torah and they forced him to hug the Sefer Torah that he wanted, but between the Sefer Torah and him, they took sponges that full of water and they lit him alive. That means they burn him alive. They burn Rabbi Hananiah ben Teradion. Rabbi Hutzpita Meturgeman. Rabbi Hutzpita Meturgeman was 130 years old. Listen to that age. Look how cruel they are. Hazal tell us that first they stoned him and then they hanged him. After they finished to stone Rabbi Hutzpita Meturgeman, they hang him. Look at that cruelty. A man of 130 years old. The sixth one was Rabbi Elazar ben Shamoa. Rabbi Elazar ben Shamoa was 105 years old when they took him and they killed him. Then number 7 was Rabbi Hanina ben Hachinai. He was 95 years old, and Hazal say that Rabbi Hanina ben Hachinai, from the age of 12 to the age of 95, he all the time used to sit betanit. What it means, betanit? Used to fast. The number 8 sage that they killed, that was Rabbi Yishvav HaSofer. Rabbi Yishvav HaSofer. He was in the age of 90 when they killed him. How did they kill them? The punishment was that they burned him alive. Number 9 was Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba. How did they kill him? There's different opinion, but the most common opinion that they cut his body to pieces. While he was alive, they chopped his hand, then they chopped his legs. They slowly cut his organ and they throw it to the dogs. Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba was 80 years old when they killed him. The last one was Rabbi Yehuda ben Dama. Listen to that. Rabbi Yehuda ben Dama, how did they kill him? They took a horse and they tie him to the horse, and a person that was riding the horse, he was riding along the street of Rome until Rabbi Yehuda ben Dama died. After he died, listen to that. They didn't stop there. They took the body, they chopped it to pieces, and they threw it. That means the last two sages, Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, Rabbi Yehuda ben Dama, never been brought to burial. You understand the cruelty? Now, if we look at those ages, 130, the youngest one was 80. That shows you the cruelty of the Roman Empire. Now we have to understand, and I'm going to stop here before I continue, because I'm going to bring just now what the Gemara and Masechet Avodah Zarah tell us in page 11, folio 2. But before I get there, I would like just to focus and to understand what's happening here. Hazal tell us that after the tribes sold Yosef HaTzadik as a slave until he arrived in Egypt, in Shamayim never was peace. And in Shamayim, they decide that they're going to take the 10 highest sages that there is, and they're going to do atonement to the Jewish people for the selling, that means for the human trafficking, for the negative command of human trafficking of Yosef HaTzadik. And Hazal explained that the Caesar, what make him decide when they rely on those 10 sages and they say, listen, we don't have Bet HaMikdash, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. We have great sages. They like Bet HaMikdash, they can do atonement. Come HaKadosh Baruch Hu and try to prove to that nation that if you don't mourn for Bet HaMikdash, I'll make you mourn. And he made them mourn for the 10 martyrs. Now, I'm going to bring what Hazal tell us in a Gemara in Masechet Avodah Zarah, page 11, folio 2. I'm going to bring also Rashi to explain. And the Gemara say like this. Hazal say that once in 70 years in Rome, they used to do a festival, a carnival. And that carnival, they used to take a limping man, a person that limp, and on top of him, they used to dress a perfect man. He wasn't a human being, but they prepared a perfect man. And they used to dress him with the clothes of Adam HaRishon. Adam HaRishon, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made clothes for him, they dress him with that. They have that. After that, they used to take the face of Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol, that we say that the Roman, because the Caesar's daughter begged her father that he must taxidermy his skin, his face, and they used to put it on that perfect man, and that limping man used to walk along the street of Roman, and he used to carry that man. What is it? What's happening here? Rashi HaKadosh explained and Hazal explained that the limping man was Yaakov Avinu. They used to call him Yaakov Avinu. And the perfect man that used to sit on top of his shoulder, that was Esav HaRasha, Esau. And that man, they used to say, they used to scream to that limping man, tell me, what did you benefit that you stole the blessing? You remember that Yaakov Avinu got the blessing from Yitzhak Avinu. That means that they used to scream on that limping man to compare him to Yaakov Avinu Chas v'Shalom, and Esav, that was the perfect man, sitting on top of his shoulder, and they said to him, what did you benefit from stealing the brachot? You see, you didn't get nothing. We're still in control of you. Chazal come and say that from here you learn something extraordinary. Ve'esav soneh leYaakov. That means Esau hate Yaakov, the Jewish people. And Chazal say also that they used to say, Mi sheyireh yiskeh. Whoever gonna merit to see, he will benefit. And whoever not gonna see, he not gonna merit to benefit. What does it mean? Chazal tell us something extraordinary. Chazal tell us that the Roman people, that's Edom, Mamlechet Edom, that's Esav, hate the Jewish people for no reason. For no reason, they hate us. Chazal say, Adam brought it, that each one of the rabbi before used to go to die, before the execution, he used to say to him, they used to do usually the execution just before Shabbat or before Yom Tov, and they used to say to him, let me do one more mitzvah. He say, you still believe in your God? He say, yes, for sure. He say, are you stupid? Look where you are. You go into execution and you still believe in your God. And they used to make the Caesar more and more angry. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu hardened the heart of the Roman Caesar, that he will kill those 10 martyrs, 10 sages, with no mercy, with no compassion. That's how cruel he was. Now we go to cruelty. David HaMelech says something extraordinary in Sefer Tehillim. I'm sure that you all read it, but I don't know if you understand what David HaMelech said. David HaMelech say in chapter 94, verse 1. Listen what he said. El nekamot Hashem. The God is the God of revenge. El nekamot ofia. That God will appear. That means our Kadosh Baruch Hu can take revenge, and he will appeal. David HaMelech said. Hazal, that wrote commentary on that chapter of Tehillim, explained that here David HaMelech speak about the revenge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take against the enemies of the Jewish people. What does it mean? Not only those Roman that killed the 10 martyrs, not only those that killed the Jewish people, it means from the beginning of the creation until the Mashiach come, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take revenge on him. And the Zohar HaKadosh say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu have a special garment. And it's a white, beautiful, clean garment. And on each garment, on this garment that he had, there is each one that Jewish people that been killed because his religion, that he's Jewish, and it makes no difference if it's during the war for the states of Israel. It doesn't make a difference if it was the Spanish Inquisition, if it was the Holocaust, if it was Khmelnytsky and his friends, if it was Paro HaRasha, the wicked Paro, or if it was the Roman, or if it was the Babylonian. The Zohar HaKadosh said that on the garment of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that it's white, what there is on it? There is a spark of the blood. And that spark of the blood have the image of those people that die because they're Jewish. That means on the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the prophet Amos say, Mi ze ba hamutz mi botzra. What does it mean? Who come so sour? What it means sour? Angry from Botzra. What it mean, Botzra? That means where they used to crush the grapes, because when you crush the grapes, usually what's come with that, it's the grape juice, and it's usually red. The prophet said, the prophet said, Mize bahamut mi Botzra? Who's come so angry from the crushing, okay, of the grapes? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Zohar explained that before the Mashiach come, just before, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take revenge against all those that killed, that slaughtered, that murdered Jewish people. Why? Because they're Jewish. And that's what David HaMelech said in Sefer Tehillim. El nekamot Hashem, el nekamot Ophia. Before the Mashiach come, we'll see the greatness revenge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gonna take against the Jewish enemies. That means those that slaughter, those that killed, those that rape, those that burn Jewish people, those that gassed the Jewish people, those that tortured Jewish people for no reason. And that's what the prophet David HaMelech said. And that's the story of the 10 martyrs. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we should all merit to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Not that we're looking for revenge, but it's not up to us to decide. It's up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take the revenge. It's not that we can change it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take the revenge. So Hazal say like this, that on the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gonna take revenge, okay, he gonna make sure that all of the enemy of the Jewish people gonna be destroyed. And only HaKadosh Baruch Hu will know the right revenge to give each one of them. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we should all merit together to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen ken yeh ratzon. Now I'm gonna have time for question. If any one of you want to ask question, please unmute yourself and please ask question. Bechavod.
Rabbi, I just want to thank you so much for an incredible shir. It's going to make our davening over the Yomim Norim very, very more significant. So really, thank you very much.
Yeah, if you look, you are 100% right, Dr. Les, that there is there, El Nekamot Ophia, in certain Sidurim, it's explained that when you say it, because it's part of the davening, you have to be mekaven. What it means mekaven? To focus that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take revenge for those 10 martyrs that the Roman killed. Any other question, Rabota? If you want to ask any question regarding the subject.
Hello. We say
Yes,
the 10 martyrs, Anthony. We
Yes,
say
Anthony,
the 10
how are you?
martyrs. We say the 10 martyrs on Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur. What is the difference between the time we say it on Yom Kippur and the time we say it on Tisha B'Av?
Okay, so the story on Tisha B'Av, it's to remind us the destruction, that what's happened in the destruction of the second temple, that the Jewish people actually didn't mourn, okay, for the destruction. That means that they actually didn't mourn that we don't have Bet HaMikdash. So that's what it's come to remind us. It's come to remind us that how much we are absolute lose of hope, with no hope if we don't have Bet HaMikdash. No one can help us, only HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu come to teach us that you cannot put your hope in human being, only in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When a person have a problem, he should daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nachon, that Hazal say that you should go to a rabbi, not a rabbi that take money. A rabbi that doesn't take money. A rabbi that take money, don't go to him, run away. Go to a rabbi to daven for you. Why? Hazal say. Because he's more connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So if he daven for you, there is a better chance that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will listen to his prayer, and maybe he will answer him before he'll answer you. You follow?
Yeah.
That's how I'll explain. Any other question, Rabotai, regarding that, the 10 martyrs and the story? Anyone want to ask
Thanks,
questions?
Rob. We appreciate it. Great share.
Okay, it's nice to see you with us, Mark, that you make it. The electricity is back. I'm happy to hear.
Came back.
So, Baruch Hashem, you know, that we have electricity. You know, I want to tell you, you know, all of those, when I say Tsar, we don't understand how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to take revenge. When people actually cause the Jewish people any pain and agony, not necessary that. Even when people just before Shabbat, I said to my wife, when they cut off the electricity just before Shabbat, okay, and they don't care, and they cut the electricity, okay, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when the Mashiach come, he will deal with them. For every little pain that they do to a Jewish people, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take revenge. So, not to lose hope. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please God, will send Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our days, and we'll see Mashiach, and then no more headache, no more trouble, please God. I would like to wish all of you a good evening, a safe evening, keep well, keep safe, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we should all see each other again on Thursday night for Parashat HaShavua. We're all going to learn together Parashat HaShavua. Have a good night.
Cool too, Rob. Thank you.
All the best. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Hope that you enjoy it. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Rabbi. Thank you. Good night. Good night. Bye. Bye.